Hello there. This is me, Al, and if I can just get that, oh, there we go. All the stuff in here I don't want. Remove, delete. Oh yeah, Bluetooth, no thanks. Oh, here's where the command prompt is. I wonder if I can move that. Well, I've already got one. Delete, yeah. Now I just put this in here. Oh, it's alphabetic, I see. Don't need this. Don't need this. That's one of the things about Windows, is there's so much redundancy. And of course the focus, the share and share and share, 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 share and share, and share. And don't stop sharing. Oh, by the way, sharing is illegal. But we like to do our best to ensure that we can share. I wonder what this does. Opens a program. Folder, document, or website. It's called Run. I suppose that might be the same as this. Sticky notes. That sounds like a good idea, you know. Let's see, how does it work? I am getting to something, by the way. Delete. Okay, delete. Shortcut, yeah. This would be a sticky note, right? It looks great. Now what? No, I don't want to delete it. Of course not. Alright, no. I don't want it here. But I'd like to put it somewhere. Maybe I can. I just want it to be. I'd like to put it in here, preferably. This is actually. I'm beginning to love this thing. You know, because I do want certain programs running, and but I don't want to see them here. So here's a good place. Oh, I know. Notes and note. Let's see what if I do that. No, that's both notes and note. No, but that's no good because I want it to be a new thing I can put in here. What does this do? Oh, you see, that's the problem with these things. Okay, go to the. Can't minimize. It's useless. Alright, now somebody actually asked me, so this is kind of a request video, assuming that I'm being recorded okay and my voice is coming out clear. I'll keep it. What I want to show you, and what this person was interested in knowing was what kind of methods that I would use if I wanted to take a video and make it sharper, to sharpen up an image. And it turns out that I just downloaded a movie, a really great movie called Leo, right here. And now, of course, first problem was this is what it gave me. Instead of an SRT file, it's in French, right, with subtitles. And one thing, I've seen this movie before, and I know that there's some mistakes in the subtitles, And second, I don't like the way that this thing displays subtitles. That has nothing to do with making something clearer, does it? But just to show you, IDX and sub. This is a binary format for subtitles. Okay, if I try to look at this notepad, I don't know if I did open it, but you see here it's got information about positioning, file position, and timestamp. I don't know why you would need both if you know the frame rate. And then there's cells and a bunch of stuff. And then here are the subtitles. This might open. I don't know. I don't see anything. See what I'm saying? There must be a 0 right at the beginning, and so, or not two. If I saw a 0, I wouldn't have opened it within the first 256 characters. So there must be maybe 200 or 500 spaces or something first, and followed by a 0 or something. So you can't just edit it, and then and I found these two programs online, which I just put in here, that you can use. Oops. That you can use to turn that into an SRT format. Oh look, there's Notepad. These two. Let's get rid of this, and then they'll be nicely together. You run one of these, and then you run the other one, and eventually it spits out an SRT file, and then all you got to do is fix the SRT file, which is going to be full of a bunch of mistakes. There's nothing to it. But it turns out the movie itself, you can read it here. Its height, it's only 288 high and 528 wide. Okay. Now, so that means that even though there's quite a lot of, it's got a pretty good data rate for that size, at full screen, it's not going to be very clear image. You see? Oh, there's a bad word there. Shit. It could use some sharpening, and so I thought this would be a good example, in fact, to show some of the methods that I've worked out on my own on sharpening. It's not a bad image, but clearly it could be better, right? I don't know, is it putting sound? It shouldn't play sound, but it does. Mute it. So now that's something that actually this is, I think, XVID. It's something I can use virtual dub with. XVID, yeah. The audio quality is not bad. 128 variable 48 is pretty good audio. I don't know how much variation there is, but the music in this movie is fantastic, so you gotta have good quality. I'd like to find a better quality version, really, but given this, I mean, most of the music is Tom Waits, and I don't know if you like Tom Waits, but he's fantastic. Here's what I've been working on for sharpening and resizing. This is, okay, here's what I'm trying to do with this file. Bring it up to at least a larger canvas size, 480 high instead of 288, and also sharpen it up. Now I have my own method. I downloaded a bunch of tools already. I downloaded a bunch of tools from the internet. I'll show you where I found them. Save where I found them. These here downloads smart MSU underscore. These zip files contain additions for the for virtual dub that you can have go into this list. Here they are here, MSU. Okay, they have a deblocker. That means that's supposed to get rid of those squares, right? Reduces a blocking artifact. This does some type of deinterlacing. Converts to progressive. It has a double frame rate deinterlace, which is something I've been working on, not with this program, but a different program. If that I tried this one, it doesn't seem to work. It's too bad. Now there's two deep blockers, but I think this is the same. If I say OK, oh no, it's different. I think one of them was the same. One of them had different names and the same thing. Let's see now. The brightness might be good. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, there's this. You see, MSU deblocking 2.2, which has this thing. And then if you click on this one, no. Oh. Wait, what is it now? I know that there were two. Another one had the identical dialog box. It's not this. Sorry. Well, maybe, okay, that was number, let me just go by number. That was the second. Here's the third. Not the same. Fourth. Not the same. Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Because you will have noticed that all of those things were unchecked. And one of them, when I selected it, all of the things were checked. I believe that's human memory. I could be wrong. But I have my own method, actually. I call Allen's Sharpener. When it comes to sharpening, there's a trick that I learned just by accident. Of course, I have to find something. Find a good image. It's blurry. It's a pretty awful looking image. Something with some detail. Not so dark. Like panoramic view would be good. Oh, here. This is the, okay. Several people. Alright. Now remember, this is the original, and this is what I'm working with here so far, what I've got. Now my trick for sharpening, I can get rid of all that stuff. In fact, no, never mind. I can turn it off easily. My sharpener. And that consists of the following. 3 lines. Okay. First you do reduce 2 to 1. So that reduces the image size to half, both width and height. Then you sharpen that image, right? And then double it back again to the original. And that should give you a sharper image, and you can adjust the sharpness once you've got all 3 of these by just modifying the power of this sharpener. And I'll show you what effect it has by just turning them off. Okay. So you can see that's not very sharp. You might think that's a better image, but if you want sharp, definitely that has the effect of sharpening. See? It's much sharper, but you can see it's not so great. But the thing is, a still image is not the same as a motion image. When things are in motion, it's just pretty slow to play it through. You don't see the same thing that you get from the stills. One image at the beginning shows a field in Italy. Okay. Now it's not a very clear image to begin with, but without the sharpening, the L-sharp algorithm, you get this. Now you see all that detail here is gone, and there's some detail here. Right? So that pulls out the detail, and what I find is that you get less of this type of, you see the echo here? That's you don't want that. You can't avoid it entirely, but it reduces it. If I just tried sharpen without the converting, like reducing and then expanding again, then you don't get anything very good. You see, it's got more of these, more artifacts than the other way, I find. So that's one pretty good way of sharpening an image. You shrink it, sharpen, and then expand. So here's an example. That's just the sharp without the other 2 steps, and with the 2 steps. It's hard to tell, but I find it's better. It's sharper. See, as I'm going through frame by frame, it's not as bad as you think. See? If this is moving at 30 frames a second, you don't notice those little bumps and things, and it looks clearer. You get a better image. Without these 2, I find that it actually looks pretty good in this case. Not sure. You can see the effect. Let me put it on now. Just to show you how you can control the amount that you want. this is pretty much off. Whoops. And what I find is with the, see, maybe 42 is too much. With this, the method of having the frame size and then sharpening and then expanding again, I find that this slider is more sensitive. Do you know what I mean? Like I have, it's less responsive, so I can be more accurate in choosing how much sharpening I want. If I do it without these two steps, you sort of get like on and off. See, there's not much happening. Actually, doesn't seem to do anything else. Oh. Yeah, see, it doesn't seem to come into effect until you get way out here near the end, right? But if you add those other two, then the effect is noticeable right from the start. And you can be more accurate in choosing how much sharpening you want. I had 42, maybe 32 might be a better choice. So now I want to actually change the size of this film. It's too small, and whoever made it during the days when, you know, people had, I don't know, 100 meg hard drives and stuff. Nowadays 100 megs is the size of a typical file. So you didn't need all this high compression. That one just doesn't start out that good. Okay, so that's one method. Now the other thing, of course, is just starting with a good source. That file that you saw that just completed downloading is called an MPEG, either transport stream. Some people say transport, and some say transmission. What it is, these here, these Jules Holland .ts files are quite big. These are both an hour long. This is the pure raw source that's picked up from your TV set. Your TV set picks this up. The resolution is 1080i, here means interlaced. So this is an interlaced source. You can play this with any, media player. Media Player Classic will play it. And the image is perfect. It's 100% no loss in quality in these files. However, you can't just take something like this and upload it to YouTube. It'll fail. And if you've been watching, I've been uploading clips from this television show taken from these files. Not these ones exactly, but similar files on my music channel. And how I created those was not using virtual dub, but using this program, Avi Demux, which will take one of those TS files. It'll open it and allow you to cut bits out, and you can save the result as an AVI file. The result that I get typically initially won't play on my computer, and I have to do a second save. I've tried to do it all in one step and it doesn't seem to work. I mean, it works, but then I try to upload it to YouTube and I don't get it. It rejects it. These are all progressive scans. They were originally 50 frames a second. I still have them in my music videos, like here, that Agnes Obel Aventine, right? These are 50 frames per second, taken out of the file, and it even says in the media info that the frame rate originally was 25 and it changed it to 50. What it did is, since those are interlaced means that there's actually two video streams in there, and they're meant to be played sort of simultaneously at a rate that your television can handle, which is 50. Your television can render 50 pictures a second, no problem, right? And it plays these fields like the odd numbered lines and the even numbered lines would be played alternately in an interlaced way, like going back and forth, and you don't notice watching TV that this is happening. Everything looks perfectly clear, but a website like YouTube doesn't work that way. It can only work on one image as it does at a time. So what the AVI Demux does is you save the file as an AVI file, like some clip. If I open one of those things up in here and I save it, okay, let me just prove to you that these TS files, I have one here in fact, okay, are 25 frames a second, right? If I open this up in here, so that was temp, right? Here. First it builds an index file. That's what those IDX files are for, that you see in that Leo load, if you recall. It has an IDX file that came along with it, and that came along with it because this thing has subtitles, and this here is an index file pertaining to the subtitles. In this case, this thing needs to create an index file pertaining just to the data itself, because there's no information given, on frames or anything like that. Well, there's some, but for some reason or other, it has to build something called an IDX file, and you don't have to worry about it. It does it automatically. Maybe it has to do with the fact that you can't just, if you want to cut out a piece, you can't cut at any frame. So maybe this thing, what it's doing is it's breaking, not doing anything to the data, but building a map of the data in chunks. And those are the chunks that you're allowed to, for instance, mark off and cut out. So if I wanted to take a piece, say I want to cut from here, right? Now this says 1148, 959. Now presumably I can go to that spot, and I can, right? Suppose I want to go to 1148, 300. Do you think it'll let me? No. You see what happened? It went to 1147,999. So it's quantized this bar here in special ticks. However it chooses to do that, is probably configurable. So you can't just cut anywhere. You can only cut on these places, and perhaps those. I know they're not keyframes because these things don't have keyframes. And when you save it, the first time you save it, your video won't be seekable. You won't be able to move the slider bar like I just did now from one position to the next. You have to sort of save it again, and then it'll build keyframes. I don't know why, but that seems to be the case. Anyway, I can go to at least the times that I'm allowed to, select out a bit, and then save. And now it's not going to do any sort of encoding or anything. Let's call this test. What it's doing is a demultiplex, right? Now the reason it can do this so quickly is because there's no encoding going on. It's just a straight up copy of the data out of the transmission stream file into an AVI container. But it's my guess, I'll try it, that I won't be able to do any seeking with that one. I have to save it again. Let's see now. So that's here, right? It's an AVI file. First, you'll notice that it's 50 frames a second. Here, it says so. It doesn't say so, but this I think is a progressive, what they call a progressive scan file. It has two audio selections, one 6-channel AC3, which is Dolby, and here an MPEG-2, which is a typical audio format for audio transmissions. Now if I just try to open this with Media Player, it'll open and it'll play it incorrectly for me, but that doesn't mean it would for you. I just don't have Dolby set up correctly. And that's probably why it plays it wrong for me. It'll play too quickly. But what I'm more interested in finding out, I tried to stop it. Stop! Okay, it's found the pot. Okay, stopped. Okay, so this is seekable. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. If I want to make this work on my system, I've got to take away one or the other of those audio streams, and then it'll play fine. So there you go. There's two methods of sharpening things up. Just use the regular sharpen. Get a very good source and just use a demultiplexer. Or that's three methods. The third method was to find something online that works with virtual dub. And if you're able to use virtual dub for something, there are available online some people have designed sharpening tools for sharpening up an image. You can see how well this works with this file. Let's see how well it works. Okay, this image is not very clear. Let's try the Magic Sharpener. Magic Sharpen. Smart Sharpen. Now it's got several selections too. maybe overall and borders. Let's see what happens. There's a preview. Should we in the right file? Oh yeah. Here. Okay. So the original, I guess, lets you see if there's any difference. I don't see much difference. Let's say that. Jeez. That's a problem with third-party, or fourth-party add-ons that often crash your programs. Okay, well, that's a couple tips anyway. As for how do you get these things? That's a secret, pirate. I can't. That's the kind of information that is that I'm not allowed to supply on a family network. Okay, see you.